Okay, Goose, thank you for being here and chatting with Alex and the Lace team. Could you first, before we jump into the details, introduce yourself, your relationship to Ada Handle, and then Alex yourself as well with Lace?
Cool. Yeah, so I'm Goose. I was one of the co-founders of Ada Handle. When we started, albeit we started thinking it was going to be some sort of weekend project while we all maintained full-time jobs. And of course, like any project that finds success, that isn't the case, and it takes a lot more man hours than you initially ever thought. And then it kind of grew into something that we also never would have thought. You know, the conversations we had back then look nothing like the conversations we have now. We were very lucky, and I'm very grateful that what we were able to accomplish by building a very easy and simple to understand product is build a very large user base, which allows us access to be able to take steps into new spaces. For instance, like you had mentioned, why we're taking very seriously the SSI space is where we fit in identity in Web3.
Alex, what about you?
So I am the head of product for wallets and services. Lace is a part of the wallets and services group. So we've been working on Lace for about a year now. And yeah, like we're trying to make Cardano and blockchain better, easier. It's the catchphrase we use is like it needs to be simple, safe, and seamless.
Yeah, so that leads into what seems to be a theme here I keep hearing is taking these promises of crypto, these amazing ideas of things like self-sovereign identity, things like security and decentralization, and really translating that into an accessible user experience that anybody can have and that can facilitate mass adoption. So first I'd like to start with you, Goose. What is Ada Handle and how does it begin to work into that vision?
Totally. So earlier I had mentioned that we had created a simple to use product, and that product is an NFT that basically allows a user to map their cryptographic address to a human readable address. So basically it takes a very computer friendly standard and makes it human friendly, which at the foundations of identity is where you want to start with human readable addresses. And like I had said earlier, it is our prerogative now to make sure that we're building at the same pace that the other dApps need an identity provider or product to be building.
Yeah. And what's the significance of it being human readable? How does this facilitate that vision of user experience?
The best way for me to exemplify this is to use an actual example that exists in the Web 2 world. Just to draw a comparison, when you transact with somebody in today's world, in today's financial landscape, for the most part, most people like on mobile are using apps like Venmo or PayPal or Cash App, because the reality is nobody knows or wants to know your full routing number or banking number. In the crypto and blockchain world, it's very similar, where a user has a cryptographic address that nobody wants to bother using or knowing. And so that's the bridge that we gap.
Yeah, amazing. So Alex, I wonder how you take this self-sovereign identity as one of those elements and the other things that Lace is doing to prioritize the same vision that I see multiple people pioneering of bringing the vision of Web3 into a real user experience.
Yeah. So for us, like a reason, or predominant reason to want to partner with Ada Handle is because it allows you to be, more safe and secure while operating within an anonymous system. But you kind of want to extend it to everything eventually. And like on a fundamental level, it comes down to the fact that somebody could impersonate dApp number XYZ. I send my money there, and all of a sudden my money is stolen. So how do you prevent that? Like if I know it's a reputable counterparty with an identity that has it is being used multiple times, like people might have given it ratings and reputation and all that kind of stuff. That is sort of like, it's building an identity of your counterparty, and it makes it a safer and more usable space. And just to sort of like follow up on the address part, you don't want to know what somebody's address is. You want to know that you're actually sending the money to the right person.
So obviously we have both of you guys here together from Lace, from Ada Handle, discussing the future of these products and these product use cases. So I'm curious, Goose, what you think about collaboration and the importance of that within the ecosystem.
Good question. I think Ada Handle's done, as I said earlier, like we've done a good job at establishing a user base. I think another thing that we're very thankful to have done is establishing connections with different dApps to allow our users to have an interface pretty seamlessly throughout the ecosystem. And one thing that we want to make sure, as I think the space is maturing and really getting ready to embrace Web3 identity, is to make sure that the developer ecosystem is building standards together. We have these collaborations with all of these different dApps, is to kind of push that, like, we're one ecosystem, and we do have a chance at providing like strong Web3 identity frameworks for the rest of the world to use. So.
Well, this is great as a first step, having these conversations, and I know you guys have been talking before about potential interactions, so really exciting to see. Any calls to action that you have for the community that is listening?
We're launching our beta program right now, so if you want to be part of it, go to lace.io and just register your email address, and we'll make sure that you get part of the beta program and all the future features that are to come in Lace.
Amazing. All right. Anything from you, Goose?
I'd say all from me in terms of call to action is, if you own a handle, do exactly like Alex said and jump onto the Lace platform and register for the beta.
Amazing. All right. Great, guys. Thank you.